Hi guys, Ashley here. Today I'm bringing you Natalia Drachuk from my team and we are gonna talk about Red or Xiaohongshu. Natalia, you've been living and working in Greater China for the past 5 years and I know that one of your favorite social media platforms in China is in fact Red. So tell me, what is this platform all about?
Yeah, so basically Red is one of the largest and fast-growing social e-commerce platform in China, and I'm a fan of this platform myself because they actually facilitate the authentic content, which is not like a promotional one, but it's from user-generated about their lifestyle, about basically fashion, some beauty things, basically about the routine, and it's the aim of this to build basically the trust between different members of the community. And it's very, very cool to know more how basically other people just do and purchase online.
And tell me about the consumers. Who are, or the users of this platform, who are they? Where do they come from?
Yeah, so basically speaking about the consumers, this platform is extremely beneficial for the brands, which actually see as a target audience female consumers, because most of the audience is actually female consumers, so in proportion it's 9-to-1, I mean compared to the male consumers. So if we talk about the numbers, it will be around 86% about female users. And they are very, very young, so around 84 of them are actually in the age group between 25 to 35. So, and this is like most innovative and creative generation in China right now. So they always create a very, very cool content about the products and how they actually vlog about their daily life. It's very, very interesting.
So are the users also the creators on this platform, Red?
Yeah, so basically because the platform itself, it's an open platform, so anyone actually can become an influencer on this platform if you have enough like a sense of humor and you can just show it in a very interesting way what you want other people to know. And basically as the platform itself, as I mentioned, it's a social e-commerce. So what's the major difference between other e-commerce platforms? Because on e-commerce platforms you usually go to check about the products which you already know that you want to purchase. But Xiaohongshu, it's mainly about impulsive buying. So then you just go there and then you have explore page and then you can see a variety of the products starting from food and just like cosmetics, mommy and baby care products, and sometimes you even don't know that you need it and then you just like open it and you saw that like some other users, they just post something and you think, oh, that's very, very cool, I constantly need it.
And the platform itself started developing more as a recommendation agent, right? A lot of Chinese started traveling about 10 years ago internationally, and people would go abroad and purchase some of the products and be like, hey, this is really cool, let me review it. Let me first of all talk to you about the traveling, where I went and what did I do. Let me create you a mini guide book on traveling to a certain destination. Secondly, let me tell you what I ate. Thirdly, let me tell you what I bought and why this thing is good and how did I essentially change myself or my hair or whatever else through this product. So that's how it began, and slowly and gradually it just started incorporating a lot more products. And right now, for instance, mother and baby is one of the biggest ones of them, right? Because people love discussing baby products, and the whole pregnancy journey is obviously a very important journey in people's lives. About a year ago, Red had a crisis, right? And what happened? Have they come out of this crisis? Right now, is it still a good platform to promote?
Yeah, so basically
what happened a year ago?
Speaking basically about the crisis, at the beginning of 2019, Red was actually evaluating that they have around 250 million basically users of the platform itself, and then they have around like 100 million people about monthly active consumers. And basically then the crisis happened. The platform itself was delisted from the uploading platforms. People don't really get access to the platform itself, so they can't download it. And then the number of monthly active users has actually dropped to 85 million. So it was quite a kind of like a huge crisis for the platform itself. And the reason why it's actually happened, because The platform itself really very strict in terms of the regulation because it's user-generated content. So people were posting their information about tobacco, about alcohol, about some other products which are actually forbidden. It's also about like the skin injections and all other things. And then it was the crisis about how platform itself actually monitoring the content and how they actually responsible of the managing it. And speaking about if they overcome the crisis, so I can say that in a certain way, yes, because Xiaohongshu start testing new features, and then they just give new opportunities for people who are using the platform itself. And at the end of 2019, the platform actually grew to 300 million users of the platform itself. So it's again become hugely popular. And at the end of basically year, they announced that the platform itself will also join this trend about live streaming. And basically at the beginning of the year, live streaming become available for more users on the platforms. And also luxury brands start joining this trend, and it also was like a kind of like, I can't say that it was like a good time, but it really was a good time for them because people were staying at home, and the content itself, it's about basically how people put the skin beauty routine. And then the first basically among the most popular hashtag during the time of coronavirus outbreak, there was about like my daily skin routine or how to do something yourself. And many restaurants, because they were closed, as a good example was a Haiti, which is actually can't serve all like customers. And then on the platform they decided to share recipes with people how they can do it at home, and people were really like a huge fans of this kind of the content. And because the platform users were mainly from the first and second tier cities, so luxury brands also decided that it's a good opportunity to actually do live streaming on the platforms and be in there. And in terms of like how about other steps which platforms do to overcome the crisis, because last year the platform was mainly, I mean, like it was also many different researchers and people actually check information and check reviews about the product on Xiaohongshu, but then they want to purchase it, they close Xiaohongshu, and then they go to other platforms like JD, Timo and other platforms. And then starting from the 1st July this year, actually the platform itself reduced the commission for merchants from 20% to just 5%. And this is supposed to encourage more merchants to invest money into cooperation with KOLs, into creation of the more content in order to make people engage with this content and then complete purchasing on the platform itself.
Within the ecosystem. So you've just walked us through a lot of insight. So first of all, again, why was there a big crisis on Red last year? It was because the platform failed to weed out shady content on the platform, which was user generated, and based on government recommendation, it was shut down and deleted from app stores and Google stores. So new users couldn't download the app, but old users could still access the app. And then Red had to go through this process of cleaning up their algorithms. They also hired a lot of people that would manually review the content, and they also revised some of their guidelines. For instance, bloggers previously could inject product promotions in every article that they publish, and right now out of 5 articles they can only use 1 as a sponsored content. Plus, again, a lot of guidelines, this and that, so you cannot advertise less desired products, you cannot make certain statements, etc. And that cleaned up a lot of behavior on Red, and of course people came back, and of course people felt that it was a much nicer place to be at and much more valuable for end consumers. And then they introduced, as you said, live streaming, and then coronavirus happened. And then the focus of Red is again about sharing the first-hand experience. That's the core, sharing of first-hand experience, and that by extension is DIY. So do it yourself during coronavirus, also push the platform. And as you just now mentioned, a lot of brands are actually entering Red, luxury brands, food and beverage brands, fast-moving consumer goods brands. They're entering Red with new kind of excitement, start generating content, start using advertising, start collaborating with bloggers. And of course, right now Red, realizing that this is their second spring, they are trying to rehabilitate a little bit their e-commerce function that was previously not very popular one, by lowering the commission and encouraging transactions to be complete on Red. Tell us, what do you recommend marketers to do on Red in 2020-2021?
So basically, the Red, as we know, it's like as a user-generating content. So definitely, it's the good platform to do word of mouth marketing. And also for this one, I definitely can recommend for brands to open like an official account or enterprise account, because now Red also introduced new features for the enterprise account, which has more functionality and also CRM systems. And basically focus on the social part of the platform itself, and also to cooperate more with KOLs, and also not like a big KOLs, but actually KOCs, because they becoming more and more powerful this year.
So an army of key opinion consumers that already love your product, yeah? And for key opinion consumers, in the perfect world, these are people that are already using your product and they're reviewing it at their own will. But you can also give them the product, yeah, and see whether they would review it. So you can build up your awareness on this platform and reach out to consumers directly. Yeah, these are small guys, but they are more willing to review and give their honest opinion on the product.
And also, like, speaking about what's actually also good this year for basically the brands, because currently, I mean, like, more people, they got used to check these reviews, and they were using, has an habit to basically use this platform during this uncertain time. So, and the Red is actually a very, very good platform for small and niche brands who wants to basically enter China, because compared to some other, like, much bigger platforms, the cost will be less. And then the cooperation with the KOC also will be less, but at the same time, people on this platform, they actually got used to check information about unknown brands as well. That's why it's also a good opportunity for some skincare, beauty care products
to be discovered, yes, right? So it's a discovery platform. Perfect. So if you are an unknown brand, how would you go about it? You want to be discovered, what to do?
So basically, you just need to find the KOCs, which actually they publish the content which is resonate with the message which you want to deliver to the audience, and because potentially, I mean, like, people who are checking the information from these KOCs, they will definitely love your product because they already communicate this one. And then I also can recommend for like this kind of the promotion to make it as a mix. Then it's like the content from the KOC is focused on your star product. Then it's like more in-depth explanation what's cool about this product. And then the second format is actually a kind of the list, like a checklist, what you need to do step by step, and how to basically enter some other product line which you have, but at the same time it will be interesting for people to see how it can work with.
Do you see some trends on Red this year? Like, what kind of content? Like, previously, for instance, tourism was a really big thing. Right now, tourism is still a very big thing, but not international tourism, but domestic travel. Do you see any trends when it comes to content, when it comes to the topics, to the hashtags, something that we can already prepare for next year?
It's actually interesting that you mentioned tourism, which actually this year was quite limited, because recently I actually read a report that during this time Red actually became the #1 decision-making platform for internal tourists, because people really, I mean, like, they were bored to sit at home, and then they can travel internally.
Domestically,
so domestically, they just shared all this information about, oh, you see these cool things and these cool things. So, and basically for travel, it's like a huge trend, and some, like the big platforms, they also decided to do a package promotion for the upcoming 2021. So to make sure that people can basically use these packages anytime that they want, and also a kind of like a virtual explanations what's actually happening on this destination. So, and people, because then you can travel it only one time, but then you just like become like paying attention to the content about this destination. It's also the idea that you can just basically sit at home and just visit not one time but several times the same location.
Virtual travel, you only go once, but before you go you've already been on this journey 25 times with other people who you keep watching and you keep seeing those places. So apart from tourism, anything else is becoming, so cosmetics is big, mother and baby is big, domestic tourism is big, anything else?
Food, definitely the huge chunk of the content is going to the food, because like everyone in China now, I can say, that became a chief, because
a chef,
a chef, because like most of the platform users, they are female users, and then they were like it's also like a kind of the combination, because they think that for men it's much more safer to go outside, and then they were like sitting at home, and then they actually learned quite a lot how to cook. And what's important, people start enjoying this process, and I don't think that it will go like very, very fast away. So I think that it still will be quite a trend for autumn and basically winter 2021, so people will still learn,
create a habit, and it's also a creative expression, right, of yourself. Yes. Because cooking is truly an art, and we see a lot of cooking tutorials on Red as well. And at the same time, a lot of people were stuck at home, and I see on Red quite a lot of these kind of create your own journal or do it yourself souvenirs or whatever. So people start developing stay-at-home hobbies, and Red is a beautiful platform to see and learn together step by step with some of the bloggers. So if you are in stationery, Red is definitely a platform for you to definitely explore.
And also here, like because like when we speak about the cooking, it's mainly about baking. So it's like a bakery stuff. And then another interesting, like as a consequences of this like habit, is actually people start paying more attention to their health. And basically another like the trend which also appeared on the Red is about like online physical fitness activities. So then we talk about the most successful case studies of during the COVID-19 outbreak, what brands were doing on this platform. It's basically about cooking, and another one is basically about online fitness courses, because people can join it together and they are already like a kind of friends on this platform.
How to keep fit, absolutely. And another big thing that I believe is right now just developing on Red is continuous education. So getting to know more about your industry, getting some soft skills, getting some hard skills, sharing how did you acquire those skills is also the trend in China in general for 2020, because people are on the one hand afraid to lose their job and want to strengthen some of their skills while they're stuck at home or doing home office. So essentially continuous education, self-development, fitness, health, developing hobbies from home are all the topics to watch out for on Red this year. Is there anything else?
I think the major.
I think so. So you guys, thank you very much for staying with us for this episode on Chinese social media platforms. Stay tuned for more platforms to come, and we hope that you now know a lot more about Red than you did before.